Hello everyone, today's video is about top 20 confusing English words which I'm damn sure most of us use them in the wrong way and which might actually put you in trouble. So let's start our today's session right away and clear your confusion. We all know the meaning of interesting, but what is the opposite of the word interesting? Is it disinterested or uninterested? Both of them seem similar, but there is a world of difference. Uninterested is obviously not showing interest or the lack of interest. Basically, you don't care about it. I'm uninterested in books, but I love watching movies. But disinterested is not same as uninterested. Disinterested means being neutral, not showing bias or not showing partiality. A judge has to be disinterested before he gives judgment. Suppose you want to buy a pair of shoes, you have to go for a disinterested opinion, not uninterested opinion, right? Ever since the COVID-19 pandemic has hit the world, all of us got used to the word layoff, right? Layoff means an employee ceases to be a part of an organization or a company. But what is furlough? There are some companies which have furloughed a portion of employees. Furlough means an employee continues to be on the payroll of the organization, but he doesn't attend the job on a day-to-day basis and he doesn't get paid for it, right? Now, when the company gets back its financial stability, the employee can come back to the organization and join again, right? So this is called furlough. Furlough is completely different from layoff. This one is interesting. Desperate and disparate. I'm not sure if you have heard of this word disparate. Don't worry, I'll tell you the meaning of it. But first, let's see desperate. Desperate, we all know, right? When you are badly in need of something or when you're craving something badly, that is called desperate. I'm desperately in need of help, or I desperately want to go out and watch a movie in a theater. Of course, it's not possible now because of the pandemic, but yeah, that is the meaning of desperate. When I say disparate, disparate means something that is completely different. Okay, it's so different that you cannot compare. For example, even though they are identical twins, their personalities are disparate. Disparate means they're totally different, completely opposite, right? Okay, this one pair has been the most confusing for me for a very long time, but yeah, right now I'm comfortable with it. That is inflammable and non-flammable. I'm sure most of you also might be facing confusion with respect to this particular pair. Inflammable means something that can be easily set on fire, right? Inflammable and flammable both are same. Both refer to substances that can be easily set on fire. Coming to non-flammable, it means something that cannot be easily set on fire, right? It is the opposite of the word inflammable, non-flammable. You can just remember it like this. Inflammable, inflames. That means something that can be set on fire. Non-flammable, non. Okay. The next on our list is facilitate and felicitate. Facilitate is to make easier. This channel facilitates your English learning. Felicitate means to congratulate someone or to express joy or happiness, right? The principal decided to felicitate the student who got the highest marks. Hanged and hung. Both of them are the past forms of the verb hang, but the usage is completely different. Hung is the word which you are supposed to use in regular conversations. I hung the picture on the wall. She hung her head in shame, or I hung the lights in my balcony, right? When I say hanged, it refers to death by hanging. Only in that scenario you will use hanged. Otherwise, you are supposed to use hung. The next pair on our list is aid and aid. Both of them sound similar, but there is an extra letter in this aid, which is AIDE. Now, what is aid? It means help or assistance. It's usually economic. If you cannot afford college, you can apply for financial aid, right? So this is one of the use where you will use this aid. The troops gave aid to the civilians who were caught up in the war zone. When I talk about this aid, AIDE, it means assistant or an important person who gives support to you. The secretary is an aide to the principal. Advise and advise. Okay, both of them are same, just that you have the difference of one letter. Here you have C and here you have S. When do you use C in the word advise? It's when it is being used as a noun, like she never listens to my advice. When you use advise, you're using it in the form of a verb, right? She advised him to go ahead, or she advised him to do that activity now, right? So in this case, advised is being used as a verb. So then you will use S. I mean the advice which has got the letter S. Otherwise, if you're using it as a noun like this, you need to use C. Remember this. Few and less. We know the individual meanings of both these words, but we use them in the wrong way. Always use less with uncountable nouns. When I say uncountable nouns, example, sugar, honey, milk, right? These are all uncountable nouns. You do not have a plural form for this. In such cases, I mean for such uncountable nouns, you will use less. Put less sugar in the coffee. And when do you use few? You use it for singular countable nouns. Nouns that have plural forms, you will use few. Like I have few pens in my pocket, or I have few notes in my wallet, or there are few houses in this street. It's not there are less houses in the street. It's there are few houses in this street. This is one pair where most of the people go wrong, between and among. When you have only two options, use between. When you have more than two options, use among. Okay, you have two colors, right? Black and blue here, and I have to choose one between them. It's not one among them, because I have only two options. But if the options are more than two, then you will use among, right? Distribute these chocolates among your friends. Okay, in that case, friends, it's more than two numbers. That is why I used among. Otherwise, you will use only between.